Good evening, students. Today I am going to teach the determinants of consumption function. What are all the determinants of consumption function? What are all the factors it will determine the consumption function? One is subjective factors and the other one is objective factors. Keynes divided the factors influencing the consumption function. One is subjective factor and the other one is objective factors. Now first one, subjective factors. They are internal factors. That is nothing but it is related to psychological feelings. It do not change in short period. They are called subjective factors. Objective factors are external factors. They are real and measurable. Factors can be changed in long period. You know the difference between these two, subjective and objective factors. Okay. In that subjective factors, Keynes listed 8 motives which lead individuals to refrain from spending. What are all the 8 motives? First one, the motive of precaution. The motive of precaution. To build up a reserve against unforeseen, unexpected contingencies. For example, accident and sickness. That is the first motive. That is motive of precaution. Unexpected expenditure purpose. Okay, so consumption function, it depends on the motive of precaution. Next one is the motive of foresight. That is for anticipated future purpose. Anticipated future purpose. Example is old age. Next, third one is the motive of calculation. That is what side heading you are learning now. Determinants of consumption function. What are all the factors that will determine the consumption function? Okay, in that 2 motives we have studied for what purpose they are spending. Okay, for consumption. First one is motive of precaution and the second one is motive of foresight. Third one is the motive of calculation. The desire to enjoy interest and appreciation for the purpose of interest. To enjoy interest and appreciation, they will spend. Next one is the motive of improvement. For improving the standard of life. To improve the standard of life, they will spend. Next, the motive of financial independence. That is the 5th motive. 6th one is the motive of enterprise. They will wish to do forward trading. For that purpose, they will spend the amount, consumption. Okay, next one is the motive of pride. For that purpose, pride purpose. Next, the motive of avarice. That is greed for wealth. Extreme greed for wealth. For that purpose, they will spend. So, consumption function, it depends on these 8 motives. I think you all understood. So, Keynes sum up the motives of precaution, foresight. Foresight, that means preparing for future event. Calculation, improvement, independence, enterprise, pride and avarice. Okay. Next, government institutions and also business corporations and also firms may also consume. Not only individual, government institutions, business corporations and also firms may also consume mainly because of the following four motives. What are they? What are all the four motives? First one is the motive of enterprise. The motive of enterprise. To get resources to carry out further capital investment without incurring loan. Okay, for that purpose. The motive of enterprise. The wish to get resources to carry out further capital investment purpose. For that purpose. Next one is the motive of liquidity. Liquidity, that is nothing but cash holdings. The desire to get liquid resources to meet emergency and also difficult situation. For that purpose. Next one is the motive of improvement. To secure income, rising income, to get increasing income, rising income, and also to demonstrate successful management. For that purpose. Next, the motive of financial prudence. The desire to ensure enough financial provision against depreciation. Okay. These are all the four motives. Next, according to Keynes, subjective factors do not change in the short period. Short period consumption function remains stable, do not change. I think you all understood, I think. First, subjective factors we have finished. What are all the subjective factors? We have studied. Now, objective factors. What are all objective factors? You know very well, objective factors, that is nothing but external factors. External factors. External factors, they are real and measurable. Okay, they can be easily changed in long period. Easily changed in long period. First one, what is the first one? First one is income distribution. Income distribution. If there is large difference between rich and poor, the consumption will be low. Why? Because the rich people have low propensity to consume. Low propensity to consume and high propensity to save. Once again I will repeat. If there is large difference between rich and poor differences, the consumption is low. Because rich people have low propensity to consume. Consume side low. And high propensity to save. What is meant by propensity to consume? Propensity to consume, also called as consumption function. That is nothing but consumption expenditure at various levels of income. So, rich people have low propensity to consume and high propensity to save. So, equal distribution of income have high propensity to consume. This opinion was given by V.K.R.V. Rao. That is the first objective factor. Second one, price level. If price decrease, real income goes up. So, what they will do, people will consume more and propensity to save increases. I think you all understood. When price falls, real income goes up. So, people will consume more and also their propensity to save also increases. That is the second objective factor. Third one, wage level. There is a positive relationship between wage and consumption. Positive relationship, not negative. There is a positive relationship between wage and consumption. If wage increases, consumption expenditure also increases. That is the third objective factor. Okay, now fourth one, interest rate. Interest rate also, it will determine the consumption function. Higher the rate of interest, it will encourage the people to save money more, but they will reduce the consumption level. That is the fourth objective factor. Higher the rate of interest will encourage the people to save money more and reduce the consumption. That is the fourth objective factor. Fifth one, fiscal policy. When government decreases the tax amount, the disposable income increases. What is meant by disposable income? That is nothing but personal income actually available for spending. One more time. What is meant by disposable income? That is nothing but personal income actually available for spending. So when government decreases the tax, the disposable income increases and propensity to consume also increase. Progressive tax increases the propensity to consume. That is the fifth objective factor. Now sixth one is consumer credit. Availability of consumer credit at easy installment. Okay, our consumer credit easy installment available. So what they will do now, it will encourage household to buy more consumer durable goods like automobiles, fridge, computer, etc. So this will push us up consumption. Okay, it will force the consumers to consume more. So availability of consumer credit at easy installment, it will encourage the household to buy more consumer durable goods. This also one of the objective factor that will determine the consumption function. Next, seventh one is demographic factors. Demography. What is demography? That is nothing but study of population. Study of population. Demographic factors. Larger the size of family, the greater is the consumption. You know very well. So size of family, place of residence, occupation, it will affect the consumption function. Size of family, place of residence, residential place, and occupation, they affect the consumption function. Families with children of college education, they will spend more than those of primary education. Okay, next, urban families. Urban, it refers to towns and cities. Those who are living in urban areas, urban families, they spend more than the rural families. Rural, it refers to villages. Next, eighth one is Duesenberry's hypothesis. He made two observations. In that first one, consumption spending, it depends on his current income, at present income, past income, and also standard of living. Consumption spending, it depends on his current income, at present income, past income, and also standard of living. Even if the current income reduce, they continue to spend the same amount of income on consumption. That is Duesenberry's first observation. Once again I will repeat. Consumption spending depends on his current income, past income, and also standard of living. Even if the current income reduce, they will continue to spend the same amount on consumption. Okay, next one is, next observation made by Duesenberry, that is demonstration effect. Demonstration effect na, that is nothing but poor people, they want to imitate the consumption pattern of rich. So the result is spending beyond their income level. That is called demonstration effect. Poor people, they want to imitate the consumption pattern of rich. So the result is beyond the spending their income level. Result is spending beyond their income level. That is called demonstration effect. Okay, one more meaning given by Ragnar Nerks, demonstration effect. What is that? Standard of living of developed countries serve as a demonstration model for the less developed countries. I think you all understood. These are all the subjective and objective factors of consumption function. These are all the factors that will determine the consumption function. Okay, ninth one also, one more side heading is there. What is that? Windfall gains or loss. Unexpected increase in stock market. Unexpected, not expected increase in stock market, it will lead to gain or loss. Gain, that is nothing but profit. Sometimes they can get gain, sometimes they can get loss. That shift the consumption function upward or downward. Upward or downward. These are all the determinants of consumption function, subjective factor and objective factors. Now, shall we go to the next one? What is that? Investment function. Investment means addition to the economy's stock of capital. That means investment means the addition to the economy's stock of capital. Investment function means investment and interest rate relationship. One more time I will repeat. What is meant by investment? That means addition to the economy's stock of capital. Investment function is nothing but investment and interest rate relationship. One more meaning, inverse or negative relationship between rate of interest and investment. Inverse or negative relationship between rate of interest or investment. That is called investment function. It slopes downward, not upward, it slopes downward. Formula is I is equal to function of R, f of R. I, it refers to investment, R, small letter R, it refers to rate of interest. I is dependent variable and I is independent variable. I is dependent variable and R is independent variable. Now we are going to see the meaning of investment. Investment means purchase of stock and shares, debentures, government bond and equities. Purchasing stock and shares, debentures, government bonds and equities. According to Keynes, it is a financial investment, not real investment. It includes expenditure, spending on capital investment, spending on capital investment. That is called investment given by J.M. Keynes. Now we are going to see about the types of investment. It may be divided into two. One is autonomous investment and the another one is induced investment. Autonomous investment means additional investment that is independent of income, not dependent of income. Additional investment that is independent of income. That is called autonomous investment. It refers to government investment. It has no profit motive. It has only welfare motive. That is called autonomous investment. Okay, it refers to government investment. It has no profit motive. That is welfare motive. Okay, induced investment means additional investment demand that results from an increase in GDP that is nothing but gross domestic product. Okay, now autonomous investment mainly for welfare motive, not for profit motive. Not for profit motive. Example, for the construction of, they will invest for the construction of roads, bridge, school, etc. This is not affected by the rise of the wage of workers. It is only for the development of nation. It is very very useful for welfare economics. Which investment? Autonomous investment is very very useful for welfare economics. Welfare economics. What is welfare economics? Welfare economics is the study to improve the economic welfare of the people. Welfare economics is the study to improve the economic welfare of the people. Welfare, that is nothing but well-being of the people. It is associated with the name of A.C. Pigou. Okay. This investment is income inelastic. Autonomous investment is income inelastic. Income inelastic means no change. The volume is same at all level. I think you all understood about the autonomous investment. Now you refer the diagram 4.3. X-axis it refers to income and Y-axis it refers to investment. Autonomous investment curve is horizontal, that is parallel to x-axis. Parallel to x-axis. Government try to boost the investment during the time of economic depression. Government, what it will do now, it will try to boost the investment during the time of economic depression. Okay, what is meant by, what is depression? We'll see. What is that? Depression, that is nothing but period of heavy unemployment and stagnation of business activity. Period of heavy unemployment, heavy unemployment and stagnation in the business activity. The biggest depression in the world was that of 1929 to 33. You should know this. Okay. Now next one is, we have studied about the autonomous investment. Now we are going to see about the induced investment. Induced investment that is nothing but spending on fixed assets and stocks. Spending on fixed assets and stocks. That is investment which varies, which differ with changes in national income. That is income elastic. Elastic means change. Induced investment is a profit motive. There is a positive relationship between national income and induced investment. National income and induced investment. Decreases in national income, it leads to decrease in induced investment. Decreases in national income, it will lead to decrease in induced investment. Then it is positive slope, not negative slope, positive slope. Now you refer the diagram 4.4. X-axis GNP, Y-axis investment. Then ID, induced investment given. Now now we are going to see that you refer that table, autonomous investment and induced investment. Okay, autonomous investment independent, induced investment planned. Then second one is, this is income inelastic. This is income elastic. Autonomous investment welfare motive, and the third one is induced investment is profit motive. Now you should know the difference between these two. What are all the differences between autonomous investment and induced investment? Autonomous investment, once again I will repeat, autonomous investment, it is independent of change in income, rate of interest and rate of profit. Induced investment, it is well planned expenditure on fixed assets. Here, second difference, autonomous investment side, the volume of autonomous investment is same at all levels of income. Here, induced investment side, when national income increases, induced investment also increases. Autonomous side, third difference, welfare motive. Induced investment side, third difference, profit motive. Fourth difference, autonomous investment curve is parallel to x-axis. Fourth difference, induced investment side, the induced investment curve is upward sloping. Refer the diagram, upward sloping. I think you all understood, Till this, I think you all understood. Now, determinants of investment function. What are all the determinants of investment function? What are all the factors that will determine the investment? First one is, you refer. How many points? 12 points given. First one is rate of interest. That will determine the investment function. Level of uncertainty, not sure. Next, political environment is also one of the determinants, one of the factor. Now, fourth one, rate of growth of population is also one of the determinants. Fifth one, stock of capital, it will determine the investment function. Necessity of new products, that is also one of the determinants. Level of income of investors, those who invest. Okay, now eighth one is inventions and innovations, also one of the determinants. Ninth, consumer demand, consumers want. Okay, next, policy of the state policy, that will determine the investment function. Availability of capital, also one of the factor that will determine the investment function. And liquid cash assets of the investors. These are all the factors that will determine the investment function. Next, Keynes, what he told now, business expectations and profits are more important to decide investment. Okay, so investment, it depends on MEC. What is MEC? Marginal efficiency of capital, additional efficiency of capital, and also rate of interest. Private side investment, first point, private investment is an increase in capital stock, that is buying factory or machine. Okay, next, MEC, marginal efficiency of capital. It tells about the rate of return on an investment project. That is annual percentage output earned by last additional unit of capital. Next, third one is, if MEC, marginal efficiency of capital, is 5% and interest rate is 4%, worth is borrowing at 4% to get expected increase in output of 5%. I think you all understood. Till this enough. Now, today's homework, part D, 37th question. Briefly explain the subjective and objective factors of consumption function. Read well and write in home test. Thank you.